The U.S. Super Bowl victory parade in the state of Missouri turned deadly after gunmen opened fire, killing one person and wounding 21 people, including 8 children. Police say 3 people have been taken into custody. Our correspondent Dan Williams is at the scene in Kansas City, and let's go live to him. Dan, what's the latest you can share with us?
Yeah, as you say, what was supposed to be a day of joy, a day of celebration, this victory parade for the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, winning back-to-back Super Bowls at the weekend, ending in complete horror following yet another mass shooting here in the United States. We had a news conference a short while ago where we were given some updates just to go through exactly what was said there. As you earlier mentioned, one person has now known to have died following this mass shooting, 21 others wounded. We're told that 8 are being treated for what they call life-threatening injuries, and a further 7 for what they say could become life-threatening injuries. Now, we've had an update that 9 children were in fact injured during this mass shooting, aging from around 6 to 15 years of age. A real horror here. You can see behind me a lot of the confetti on the ground, the rubbish that was strewn, as complete chaos ensued. And we also know, as you mentioned as well, there 3 suspects are now have since been arrested following this mass shooting.
And Dan, can you talk us through what happened with this shooting?
Yeah, so you can see behind me Union Street Station. This is the kind of the end of where the parade was finishing up. Of course, the players, having won that Super Bowl, just enjoying this moment. There are around 1 million people from all across the state and all their fans from across the country here to just join together, a sense of unity behind this amazing Super Bowl win. And then around 2 o'clock, while people were still on the stage outside of Union Street Station, this of course is the area where this parade was coming to an end. While players were still on the stage, the mayor was still in attendance as well. These shots rang out and really caused complete chaos and confusion following that as well. And we've been speaking to some of the eyewitnesses. This is what they had to say.
She heard the shots, and then I kind of just saw everyone duck, and so we ducked behind this little barrier we were by. Yeah. And then after that, got up and have walked back here.
We were pretty close. Yeah. We went to the bathroom and people started running up the street saying there were shooters down by Union Station by the intersection. We left about 2 minutes before it happened.
Just to underline just the scene of chaos that followed as these shots were ringing out. And many of those that were injured following this mass shooting, we understand, injured because of the stampede as well. So just underlines just the sense of chaos that was here when those gunshots were being fired.
So 3 people have been taken into custody. Dan, do you have any details on them?
Well, city officials are being very tight-lipped as to exactly what these 3 suspects have said, what their involvement exactly was. Further information will no doubt come through. So we have to be a bit careful of speculating too much. Now, CBS News here in the US, they're saying that this, according to their sources, was an argument that went wrong. Their source saying that it was not terror related, but of course this is an investigation that is ongoing, and further details we expect in the morning in terms of that. CNN, on the other hand, they interviewed what they said was a man who tackled what they say is perhaps one of the suspects, somebody that had a gun. We saw images of police jumping on top of that person as well. Again, further details still to come out of that, but CNN having interviewed that person. Of course, at this moment, there's still a lot of questions and the investigation still very much active.
So sadly, shootings like this have happened before at these big gatherings in the U.S. So presumably Kansas City did have some security measures in place. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there were, by estimates, more than 800 police officers on patrol, ready for any kind of potential trouble. Of course, we know that there are about 1 million people, fans, coming here to enjoy this day. So those 800 police officers certainly needed for crowd control and the like. And we saw those police officers really reacting very quickly indeed to the gunshots that were heard just behind me. But what it really does is it brings a spotlight once again on guns. More than 800 police officers, and something like this takes place once again. And we've seen again and again mass shootings here, be it in school campuses or college campuses or places of worship. But on top of that as well, we've also seen it happening at similar kind of parades like this one. You may remember the Denver Nuggets, their NBA championship parade, their first ever NBA title, being somewhat overshadowed last year by a similar circumstance. 10 people injured following a mass shooting there. Now, according to Gun Violence Archive, they collect all the data from mass shootings from all across the country, and they classify a mass shooting as 4 people wounded, not necessarily dead, but 4 people wounded from a mass shooting. They say that there's already been 49 mass shootings in the US this year. Last year there were 656. That's just a few shy of the all-time record of 689 that was recorded in 2021. This issue of mass shootings continues to be a big issue here, and we also heard from the US President Joe Biden today talking about that as well, saying that today's events should really shake us into action. This once again, another mass shooting here in the US, and people here, joy very much turning to real anger and disbelief.
Thank you so much for the updates, Dan Williams in Kansas City.